Hello, hello, Marcia Bench here, and delighted to be with you in the Soul Matched online marketing group. And today is the day that we have are kicking off our brand new weekly show that is entitled Soul Matched Online Marketing Mastery. So I've got an exciting program ahead for you today, and want to just invite you to sit back and relax and take this in, take some notes if you wish to, and welcome to all of those of you that are joining us. Please let us know where you're calling in from and where you're, what you're planning on doing this coming weekend here. Doing this on Friday midday for those of you on the East Coast, and earlier in the morning on the West Coast where I am. We've got the weekend ahead of us, and I always get excited as the schedule kind of eases up on Fridays, so that I've got some space to work on the business. And so Ilse, let me know where you are calling in from, as well as the rest of you that are here. So our topic today again is the 4 keys to our $108,000 launch that wrapped up 10 days ago, I think. It was very, very recent. And I want to share with you some of the ways in which we did that, what made that possible, and also just some of the ways that you can do that as well. Edwina, welcome. And so as you're dialing in, let us know. Boulder, Colorado, awesome. Yeah, that's a beautiful place, and especially this time of year, right? Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, I'm in Portland, Oregon, and we're enjoying some beautiful late summer weather today. So always appreciate that. So if you are someone that has an established business, and it's been a struggle kind of getting either to the next level or filling your programs with enough clients, just post me in the comments if you're willing to, and that's what we're going to really help you overcome today. So great, wonderful, yeah, awesome. And so there are 4 different components that made this launch particularly successful. I'm going to get into those in a moment. But for those of you that are not familiar with me and what brings me to be doing this, what I actually help people do, I want to just give a little brief intro here, because while what I'm about to share with you will work with just about any online business, just about, I won't say every single one, but just about, it's helpful to know kind of where I'm coming from, right? So I started my very first business as a side hustle next to my law practice back in the 1980s. And I was working for a law firm, was miserable, kind of had one of those lightning bolt moments in the middle of the night, waking up and realizing what I wanted to have as my first program and project and book. And so followed the guidance that I got and put that class in place. And this was way before the internet and everything else, of course, that we have now, our social media. And then if could just continue to grow that. I've written 27 books. I sold everything a few years later and traveled the country with my first book, When 9 to 5 Isn't Enough, and then my first national book, I should say. And my passion really is to help women entrepreneurs like yourselves prosper and thrive in a business that really fulfills your life purpose. So as such, started out with career, and as I started to see the freedom that's available in entrepreneurship, and my focus really shifted to that being the exclusive area that I work with people in, a couple decades ago. My first online business launched in 2001 and was a very successful online coach training company, which I sold in March. And meanwhile, along the way, I've really activated more of my spiritual aspects and energetic aspects and the intuition and all of the other side of the brain, if you will, the other side of the equation. And so we bring that into what we do as online business strategists for spiritually minded women entrepreneurs. So that's what we're up to. And website is spiritualwomenentrepreneursinstitute.com. And so just that's a little bit about me. And so I have had pretty much every form of offer and business model and marketing technique and sales technique. I've experimented with all of those in the decades that I've been in business, and especially the time that I've been online. Always looking for the right combination, right? The right specific approach that would work for what I was doing. And that changes, doesn't it? So for those of you that have been in business for a little while, for 5 years, 10 years, what worked 10 years ago, what worked 10 months ago, given COVID, may not work now if you were doing the live event model, which we did as well. So I made the decision in December, before I even knew COVID was coming, that this was going to be the year to go 100% online. As it happened, my business sold 3 months later, and 3 days after that, I hired one of the 2 mentors that I'm now working with to learn some of what I'm going to share with you today. So I don't want to belabor my background. You can learn more about me at the website, and but just kind of let you know my story. And been married for 26 years to my amazing husband, and we live here with our little Havanese dog, Roxy, who's my pride and joy as well. In fact, I think she was under my desk. She's not there now. So anyway, so who's ready to really get into the, I just got, sorry, I'm going to turn these emails off. Who's ready to get into the 4 keys to really creating a 6-figure launch, a 7-figure launch, a $50,000 launch, whatever your next goal is in your business? Just type me or ready in the comments, and I'll know that you're ready to get going to the next step here. These 4 things that I'm about to talk about are principles. If any one of these, they're also, specific components of a successful business. If any one of these is missing, I'm not seeing all the comments. There we go. All right, cool. Ready. I love it. Yeah, I was only looking at the first part. If any one of these is missing, it's kind of like having your dining room table missing a leg. It's not going to really be very successful in holding your dinner, right? So you've got to have all 4 of these things. And the way that we actually structured each of these and used each of these together 5 years ago, 2 years ago, is different than the way we're doing it now. And the way that we're doing it now is what's getting the results. So without any further ado, if you've got some paper ready to take some notes, the first key to having a successful, multiple 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure launch is to have the right kind of offer. The right kind of offer. And so for years, we did what many people online teach, which is to do a 5-week course, a 90-day program, deliver one-on-one services. And thankfully, I had an early mentor that, even as I was doing one-on-one services for many years, taught me how to package those services. So that's at least a step in the right direction. But still, if you're offering the short courses or those kinds of things, classes, let's say, they tend to be underpriced, and you tend to over-deliver. Anybody else over-deliver because they're so committed to the client success that they give more than they really know they should? That is a common thing among us women. It just is. And so the other side of that equation, of course, is just that it's low priced. It has a start and a stop date. So if, let's say you started your new class August 1st, and this is August 7th today, you have to wait till October 1st for the next one. What are you going to do in the meantime? And so it really can create a lot of additional stress. Do we need any more stress in our life? We don't, right? We got enough to deal with. Externally first, and then just, the whole work of starting and growing and adding team and adding, doing the scaling process. That has enough questions and answers and challenges and solutions that we need to find without that. Yeah, Sonia, understand that. So the right kind of offer fully serves your clients instead of giving them a bunch of information over a few weeks and saying good luck in incorporating that. I know that's the end of our class. That's the end of our program. That's the end of our work together. And it's a little sad for us too, right? Because we want to have the client get the result, but if all they're getting is information, how many of you spend your evenings just kind of browsing Google, browsing YouTube, and taking in some free content that's of interest? It might relate to your business. It might relate to your favorite hobby. It might just be about a place that you want to go visit, right? We can get information anywhere. I'm not saying your information isn't valuable, but what is most valuable about what each of you has to offer is the facilitation of the actual result getting in your clients, the coaching, the accountability, and those kinds of things. So those need to be part of it all. So it has to fully serve your clients. And so when, as many of you know that are working with me already, that we recommend a minimum of 6 months. 12 months is even better. But sometimes if you haven't been doing a program style, hybrid program style event, or offering rather, that's a bit of a leap in the beginning. So although I actually, when I first started doing this type of offering, decided to turn the whole model on its head and offer the 12-month first, and was enrolling people all the way into New Year's Eve that year, as it turned out. But that's another story. So you really want to deliver a full result to your client, and what that means is that there are training components and there are mentoring components. The training components many of them can become recorded, so that you're saving yourself time. And I don't know if you're like me, but I don't particularly want to repeat the same thing over and over again with multiple clients throughout the day. It's just like I'm bored with myself, so I'm sure they're bored with it too, right? So I'd rather have, go to this training, watch this training, and then next week let's get together and explore your findings and your discoveries from that in the next coaching session that we have. So it needs to fully serve your clients, and that allows you, especially as you elevate to the 12-month model, to have evergreen enrollment. So we have clients that came in March, we have clients that came in May, we have clients that came in June, and clients that came in July. We'll have more at the end of this month, and they're all at different levels, and that just enriches the conversation. So certainly there is a point at which there's a more advanced level of client, and you want to then elevate them into another advanced program. But at this stage, there's a wide range of issues and challenges that we can share with each other as that initial offer. And then most importantly, well, the last thing I'm going to say is really important too, but one of the things that will help you get to your goal faster is premium pricing. Premium pricing. Instead of thinking, well, if I only offer my 5-week for $97, $197, more people will buy it. That's so close to free that you actually have a harder time selling it. You get more questions about it coming in from people, and they question it throughout. It's a different kind of buyer that invests in, and that's the language that we always use, that invests in a solution that is premium priced. It's someone that really is, the more you've got on the table, would you agree, the more you're committed to get the results? I mean, if you're paying $197, you can kind of blow it off and it's no big deal. But if you're paying $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, now you're not going to just kind of let that slide. You're going to make time for the live calls. You're going to get into the member portal and watch the trainings and so on. So premium pricing is the key. And so let me just break that down and make that really super clear. This is still number one here. Just jot down in the comments your financial goal that you'd like to reach over the next 12 months. You want to get to 100K, you want to get to 250K, you want to get to 50K. And the first one I see will run the math, assuming it's a round number that I can work with. So who's got a goal that is where you want to be a year from now? You want to be on a run rate, let's say, of 100,000, which is roughly $8,500 a month. You want to be on a run rate for 50,000, which is roughly half of that. Okay. Okay, Bonnie, of course you give me a not round number. I'm going to go with Ilsa's 100K, okay, just for sake of argument. So let's say that you charge 10,000 for a year of work with you. How many clients does it take at 10,000 to make 100,000? Only takes 10, right, for the full year. Now, some of those will pay in full, some of them will pay monthly, and you want to adjust for that. But how many clients does it take to meet that $100,000 goal when you're selling a $2,000 program? 50, which means at least 150 sales conversations and so on, right? So the math becomes really important. It also is important for any of you, which some of our clients are in this situation, where they've got a salary they need to match, and they need to match it quickly so they can leave their job. Instead of thinking, oh, I just love to be a $100,000 business owner, and someday I'll do it. It's like, well, let's just kind of sit down and evaluate. What would it take? Okay, you're making $50,000 now. Let's say you could come out of the gate with a $5,000 program. You only need 10 clients to match that. And you take care of your own taxes. If you manage it well, you'll probably pay a little less taxes than you did on that $50,000 working for someone else. Who likes that idea of just breaking it down into a number of clients at X rate? Now, what's the biggest barrier once we do that? It's up here. But who would pay me $5,000 for what I have to offer, right? Who would pay me $10,000? Etc., whatever the amount might be. And I can tell you there are one-year coaching programs out there for $1 million. There are weekend programs for $10,000. The only difference between them and us is mindset. Just mindset. And valuing what you have to offer, right? So it really is important that we get our mindset right so that we can offer that premium price program. And it's not about greed. It has nothing to do with greed. It has to do with service. I'm not fully serving you as my clients if all I do is give you content. What that's going to be is overwhelming, right? So, and my dog wants in. Hang on a second. Come in, baby girl. Come on. Okay. You know how that goes, right? Kids, dogs, cats, whatever. It's just real around here. So that's what I want to encourage you to do with your offer, is to elevate it to a true hybrid program rather than just a class, a course, or one-on-one services. One-on-one is fine to start with to test your ideas, but you want to have a very tight limit on how many one-on-one clients that you take on before you start using a leverageable and scalable model. All right, number 2, second key to multiple 5, 6, and 7-figure launches, such as we just did, is the right business model. The right business model. Now, there are 6 different business models that we could use as coaches, practitioners, healers, similar types of entrepreneurs with a service-based offering. Only some of them are scalable. And let me think about this. Half of them are delivering passive content. So we've got one-on-one, of course. You've got class to coaching. You've got leverage group coaching. You've got the hybrid model that we've been talking about. You've got certifications, and you've got masterminds and VIP days. So any of those are vehicles through which you could deliver your service. And we used to offer several different ways. We don't do that anymore. There's one program. And the only exception to that, if you don't want to commit to the entire year to build out your business, which I guarantee you it's going to take, no matter what stage you're at, to get to the next level is not something that happens in a 30-day or 90-day time period. Then we have a VIP day offer, but that's not going to include the kind of follow-up that virtually every woman entrepreneur really needs. So it needs to be scalable. That's the primary criteria for the right business model. I'm in a program right now with 700 other clients. And do I feel lost? Do I feel anonymous? Do I feel like I don't have any personal attention? No. I absolutely feel very taken care of. I'm in another program with 300 people in it. And again, same thing. It's what we're buying, what we're investing in when we hire a coach is what? It's speed. It's taking the diamond lane, on the freeway, instead of just poking along behind the traffic, hoping you eventually get there. So it has to be scalable. Now, you might have a hard time imagining having 500 clients or having, 1,000 clients or whatever the number might be. And you don't have to. You don't have to. If you really prefer to just have a boutique type model, you can do that. But it's more time intensive. It takes more time for the boutique model than it does, or say a dozen clients or 5 clients, 6 clients at $100,000 a piece, than it does for serving, 100 to 200 to 300 clients in the hybrid model. It's interesting. That also needs to include accountability. Accountability. Initially, when we rolled out Divine and Aligned Biz Builders, which is our 12-month program, it included the hybrid model, 150 hours of training in the portal, specific guidance on where to start with that, and then group calls. In the past, we've only done like 3 calls a month out of 4 weeks. With COVID, I knew people needed more support, so we actually meet 9 times a month, twice a week for our group coaching calls, and then once a month for a co-working session where you're doing some work in real time as a group. So we've now added one-on-one coaching to that, and the clients don't even know this yet. We just brought on our another new accountability coach who will be getting officially welcomed to the group next week. So that's one of the ways as we scale that we will continue to provide the intimacy that I know all of you need, the accountability. Because again, if information could transform your business, you'd be a billionaire already, right? You got all kinds of information. Some of you have multiple certifications, multiple degrees, etc. What you need is not more information or another credential. What you need is implementing what you already have been exposed to, and we help you do that in a specific step-by-step process. So scalability and accountability are the 2 main things here. Okay, so who's ready for the 3rd one? Is this helpful so far? Let me just ask that first. Put yes in the comments if this has been helpful so far. You're starting to see things a little bit differently, and you're excited about the possibilities for being able to create your own launches at those higher fees. And launches, by the way, are not the only part of the equation. We also have day-by-day client acquisition processes that we are implementing and will soon be teaching to our clients as well. But because you don't want to just be exclusively launch dependent, but it's kind of nice to have a 6-figure infusion every couple of months in your business, right? All right, so I see you're ready to move on. Number 3, you need the right lead generation system. Lead generation system. And it used to be easier. Of course, everything used to be easier, right? But I mean, when I first started my online business, all you had to do, we didn't even have webinars then, we had teleseminars. You listed it on this one website, everybody read this one website and came that was interested. It was so simple. Our market has evolved considerably in that 20-year time frame. Now, just posting on Facebook, who's thought that just posting on Facebook every day is enough? Somebody told you all you got to do is just be present, be visible on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, and you'll build a following, and that'll lead to a successful business. Some people are still teaching that out there. Here's the problem. Facebook has, behind the scenes, working all the time and changing all the time, what? The algorithm. Their algorithm is going to cause, of the 4,000 and some friends that I have, let alone followers on Facebook, maybe 50 of them would see a post. And they have to fit certain criteria in terms of engagement with me over the last few days, last 30 days, whatever. So it doesn't work, does it? I mean, some of you are here because you're frustrated with that. You're like, I thought that was the way to do it. I did too at one point. And then I learned about Facebook groups. And Facebook groups are one of those keys that unlock the doorway to really creating an online community. So what we have our clients do, and what we do as well, is we have this group, which is our free group, available to any women entrepreneurs that want to join us and are willing to answer a few simple questions. We don't let people in that don't answer the questions anymore. And then we have our paid group for our clients that are in the year-long program. And I can tell you, it's getting busier by the day because we got very, very active engagement going on in both groups. So there's a whole separate training that I could do on the 12 reasons Facebook groups are so amazing. But let me just leave it at this for today's purposes, because I want you to be able to, to not be here all day. I know you want to get on with your weekend. You need a container, literally a container. Think of it like a bowl, where that's the almost like the hub of your marketing is to get individuals into your Facebook group, because there, not only are you going to be able to have more ongoing communication with them, and on these weekly Friday shows, you'll have that opportunity, of course, as well as during the week and just the exchange that we have, but you also have them connecting with like-minded people. How many of you just love this group? And it's only, a month old now. We just started this new group for the last launch. Just the interactions that happen in here, and the inspiration that people share, and some of the tips that I've shared as well. It's just going to get better and better. So when our podcast comes out on Mondays, we share that, various kinds of client tips or marketing tips throughout the week. So it provides a community, and it helps people self-qualify as to whether they're really right to work with you. So in terms of our success story, and really customizing what I'm sharing with you to this specific recent launch, we have another group. Some of you may have been in the other group, the Divine and Aligned Women Entrepreneurs. That group has people that have been in it for a couple of years, and it's gotten stale. And so we were not getting the kind of engagement that we wanted when we invited people to something even free. Just they were like, okay, whatever, or they weren't seeing it. So the algorithm is less effective, is less restrictive is the right word, inside of a group, but it's not going to show you things that you don't want to see either. So we just decided to start a whole new group. The end of this month, the other group will be archived. Why am I waiting? Because I've already pre-recorded podcast episodes that are sending people there through August. So I'm going to give them a place to go. And then after that, we will be solely in this group as our free group. But it just created a whole resurgence of energy and a whole resurgence of clients. So if you've got a group already and it's got 4 people in it, you can still use the same one. Just be sure you've got a name that's on brand and begin to use some of the principles that we teach in terms of filling it. But if you have a group that's old and stale, you might be best just to start with a new one. We decided to start with a new one and created a fan page to match. So that was part of the secret with using with our lead generation. We also have an email list. We also began to use ManyChat. I'm not going to get into that today, but the biggest difference, I think, in terms of filling the group with 400 members in literally 2 weeks, and we're continuing, of course, to issue those invitations as well, was the Facebook ads that we used, very specifically and strategically crafted to send people to the group, for either to get our lead magnet or just to join the group to be in this community. And so we spent $4,000 last month on Facebook ads to get 108,000 in business. If I'm going to have that kind of a result and I'm in Vegas, I'm super happy, right? If I'm going to have that kind of a result, if I could do that, repeat that month after month, that ratio, spend $8,000 and have 200,000 in business, you can just continue to multiply that once you get the formula working properly. And that's literally what we're going to do. We're going to more than double that spend this month as we move into our next workshop. So if you're not at that point yet, that's fine. Just know that your growth will be slower until you can do ads. So our ideal clients will have or will be rapidly growing to the place where they have at least $500 a month to spend on ads, and you can just continue to churn that back into the business as it generates results. Okay. The value, Ilsa, you're saying that you love the value of groups? Yeah. Meetup groups are iffy, and we can have another conversation about that offline. Some of them are fine, some of them are not so effective or even really active. So it's I've never really used, even when we were doing live networking, I've not significantly used meetup groups. Just tried them out, decided it wasn't really the right avenue for me. Okay, final one. Apologize, I got something in my throat this morning. Is the right conversion mechanism. That's kind of a masculine term. I should probably use a different one. Technique, maybe, conversion strategy, something like, conversion's the key. What does conversion mean? Well, it means one thing in ads, and it means something else in your business. It basically means that as nice as it is to have all those awesome people coming into your Facebook group for your relationship coaching, for your health coaching, for your financial coaching, for your whatever sort of work, for your healing work that you do, unless they start to convert into clients, it's just a nice kind of feel-good situation, right? It's not really useful in terms of revenue generation. So it has to generate revenue in the form of paying clients. So I've changed radically how I approach this thanks to the mentorship I'm getting this year. For years, I used webinars where slides were the primary thing that you saw on the screen. I spent lots of time making them look pretty, making sure that they were, minimal language and mostly images, all the stuff. Excuse me. And then then I learned, I already knew that coaching and healing are personal services, and you want to include your image, you want to include personal videos of you as much as you can on your website, in your copy, on your group, on your page. But what if your trainings were just you and the camera speaking directly to Ilsa and Bonnie and Charity and Edwina and the rest of you that are here today? Makes a huge difference. So how are you going to remember everything that you want to say? I got a single page here next to me with my outline on it. And when I do longer workshops, I have a little rack that I put my notes on next to the computer, or split the screen sometimes, if that makes sense. But I'm just working, I'm able to be much more authentic with you. I'm able to be much more in the moment if my intuition guides me to add something in that I hadn't planned on. Yeah. And you know what, Ilsa? I don't know very many women entrepreneurs, unless they came from a sales background, that like selling. And that's why we don't even call it that. We call it client enrollment. Much more friendly and feminine term, and that's really all it is. We're just helping them do what they already want to do, and have some fears about, want to make sure that you're for real, so you want to create the credibility, want to make sure that you can really relate to where they're at, and so on. There is a point, with some mentors that have been around for a while and they're up in the, 9-figure business arena. If you're just starting out, they're going to have a hard time relating to where you're coming from because it's been a while ago for them. So you want someone who's ahead of you on the path, a few steps, or maybe, a dozen steps, but not someone who is so far removed that they could even get impatient with you or whatever it might be. That's certainly not the way that we work with our clients. I understand that dynamic. I just started a new business this year, right? After I sold my other one, Spiritual Women Entrepreneurs Institute, officially started in January, but due to COVID and everything, didn't actually launch until March. So we have had this result in just literally 5 months that we are at now. So our favorite conversion mechanism or technique is a multi-day online challenge style workshop where you have sessions at least once a day, and then you've got the opportunity to watch those replays, you've got some contests, you've got homework for people to do, and you're engaging with them throughout that time frame. It can be anywhere from 5 days to 9 days in total, different activities on different days, but it gives you a chance to really get to know them and vice versa, and it also gives you, let me just back up a second. When you're in your live event, let's say, if you've done live events before, you've been to live events before, into the second day, they have the client success panel, and then they give their offer, right? So you've got that night to think about it, you've got the next morning to think about it, and it's over. If you don't decide within that 24 hours or less, then the offer goes away. With the workshop model, you're able to continue in a very authentic and compassionate way to share success stories and to provide additional value and to continue really literally doing the engagement activities over 5 full days. And that just gives a lot more space because people will tend to come in at the last minute. I always used to think it was because they were procrastinating, but I found out another reason. Tell me if this is any of you, that they wait purposely till the last minute because it gives them an emotional rush. I'd never heard that before till, I don't know, a month ago. But I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Just like, wow, I just did it and I just got in on the deadline and I'm so excited, right? It's more exciting to do it at the very last minute, even if they've known about it for the entire time. So that's just another client motivation that might be out there with your clients too. So, do you think, even with my experience writing all the books and doing all the events and the classes and the coaching over the years, that our very first launch went through the stratosphere? Relatively speaking, it did, because it was more successful than anything I had done live and in person. We made $58,000 in sales in the very first launch back in March in this workshop model. And so I got all excited and I was like, okay, second time we should be able to double that, right? But I made a mistake. I'm going to tell you what that mistake is in a minute. Second time we enrolled one client. I'm like, oh, I'm really bummed, right? And she was someone who'd known me for a long time. Not that that diminishes the commitment, just the timing suddenly was right for us to continue our work together. But I was disappointed. A third launch, 2 people came in, but they didn't know me. They hadn't known me at all. In fact, one of them came in after like 2 days of the workshop. And this is just an hour a day, watch party in the evening. It's not like it's an all-day thing. She just knew it was right. So started to get a little more excited, did the right thing leading from that one to this last one, which again, I'm going to tell you in a minute what that secret is. And we brought in 9 clients, which ended up totaling $108,000. So I have confidence that as we go forward, we will continue to increase the results we get. Why? Because the first 3 launches each had a slightly different curriculum, a slightly different offer. What were we doing? We were honing our offer. What most entrepreneurs do, see if this is you, when things don't work the first time, is they change their offer. Now, thankfully, I didn't change the 12 months, being the way we were delivering it. I just changed the workshop and how we were kind of couching it. But I've made this mistake myself in the past. It's like, well, this isn't working, so I'm going to pivot and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to offer this instead. Oh, that didn't work. We launched that once and it didn't work, so I'm going to go over here and do this. And your clients have whiplash. Your prospects have whiplash. They don't know what the hell you do, right? And so they go to somebody that actually has a consistent message. Confused clients don't buy. So when you really take a thoughtful approach to designing your offer and your program in such a way that you know it's your purpose-based program, it's your soul-oriented work, it's exactly what you are to do to draw to you those clients that are soul-matched to work with you, and you consistently invite people to that, just about the time that you might even be getting a little tired of it, they're just now hearing about it. They're just now getting it. So patience and consistency is so important. So what happens if you have a launch that flops? Well, of course, you want to dissect every aspect of it. We do a debrief after every launch. It's about a 3-page document that we go through all the things that we did, what worked, what didn't, what we want to do different next time, etc. And you change your messaging. You may change how you market. You may change what you say based on some feedback you've gotten. You get your mentoring, obviously. You get your mentor involved. I always get with my accountability coach after every launch for her input as well. And then you do it again. You do it again. So now that we know our message, we know we've got a lively, interactive group, and we have the right offer for clients that really want that solution. You want that six-figure result or beyond. You want to move from 6 figures to $250,000 to $1 million, and you're committed to that for the long term. If you're an entrepreneur, what else are you going to be doing, right? Then you really want to consider getting our support and creating the structure for yourself. Well, you know know what? It didn't feel quite right, Ilsa, is what we changed. So it went from being one title to another title, and similar but not identical. And some of the messaging we changed up for it to be more, again, there is a refinement process that naturally happens, and you just don't want to change too much all at once, and I think that's the mistake that we made. So even me, after 30 years in business, I'm still learning what's working and what isn't, and that's why I'm willing to be transparent with all of you that are willing to take your time to listen today. And so it, now it feels 100% integrated and aligned in me and within our clients. I feel like we're getting the right kinds of people, and so that was the reason that we made those changes. So that was our 4th launch. We will be doing another one at the end of August. And to get on the wait list for that, you just simply want to go to our website, swei.institute is the shortcut, swei.institute. It'll be inside this group, the Soul Matched Online Marketing Group. And but you don't have to wait till then. If this is appealing to you and you're listening to either the live training that we're doing or the replay, I would love to chat with you if this is something that you want to accomplish for yourself, that you want to not just have a few clients, you don't want to just have a class or some online content that nobody comes to because you don't know how to drive traffic there, but that you really want the right kind of offer, the right business model, the right lead generation system, and the right conversion mechanism in place so that you can have, the $50,000, $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 and up $1,000 launches. It's very, very powerful. There's specific intervals that you need to be aware of in terms of how often to do it so you don't burn your list out, and other alternatives in between if you want to bring in additional people. There's all finer points to what I'm sharing today, but I wanted to at least share these are the keys. The table's on 4 legs if you've got all 4 of these in place in your business. So some of you may be just starting out. Some of our clients are as well. Some of you may have some of the pieces in place and you're just looking for the right launch mechanism. Some of you might be established and you just want to really amp it up and have less of your time involved to make more money. Who does that sound good to? To have less of your time involved, but you're making significantly more money in the time that you are working. Type yes or me in the comments if that's you. So we've set aside some time with myself or one of our team members if you really would just like to discuss your situation, see if it's a fit for us to consider working together. And all you need to do in order to have us direct message you to set up a short conversation is to just post up level in the comments, up level. And the word up level, I'll just write it myself just so that you've got the what I'm saying. It's not always typed as one word, but it's one of my favorites. And that way, we'll reach out to you if you're interested. There's no pressure involved. It's just simply if you'd like to get these results, we'd like to talk to you about how we could help you do that. And if not, if now isn't the time for whatever reason, then just continue to be active in the group, and we'll continue to provide value. And appreciate you being part of this. Yeah, less time and more money sounds great, Edwina says. Yeah, exactly. It's very labor intensive to do one-on-one coaching, as fulfilling as that can be. But, there are some success stories in the group here in the Unit 2, if you want to take a look at those, that, the opportunity that you have to impact people's lives when you're coaching multiple clients multiplies the ripple effect of your movement out into the world. And that really is why I do what I do. I mean, do I have financial goals? Sure. Do I have goals in terms of the size of the group and the reasons why I want to do all of that? It's the reasons why I want to do all of that from a lifestyle perspective that really drive me, and the way that I want to help clients change their own lives and businesses, because there's so much wrong information out there. There's a lot of information that is a whole bunch of pre-work, and you don't even know until you launch it whether or not it's going to sell, and you've wasted all this time. So, I'm here to bust some paradigms at the same time. So just either reach out to us through direct message or type up level in the comments, even if you're watching the replay, and we'll be happy to reach out to you and chat with you further. Okay? So I appreciate your time today. Have a beautiful rest of the day. And we do have a couple spots, I think, this afternoon yet where we could chat with you if you would like to. Otherwise, most likely, it would be Monday morning. So thanks a lot. Have a great day. And we will talk with you again soon. Next week, to be exact, on Friday morning.